The tale of Santa Inocencia is quite well known in Mexico. The name translates to Saint Innocent, and her story is a rather chilling one. Going back over 300 years ago, a girl by the name of Inocencia was banned from attending church. It's important to note that she was Catholic and wanted to meet people who were in a similar position. However, her father said it was nonsense, and didn't want her visiting anyone who was also Catholic. She was adamant though and wanted to practice her faith. One day she met a nun and started asking her questions about what it was like. The nun was kind to her and convinced her to take classes in the Catholic faith. While attending these classes, she was said to have been visibly happier, and couldn't wait to attend each class. However, she did this without her father knowing, because if he found out he most likely would have put an end to it. She was eventually invited to receive her Holy Communion, and she did so without telling her father. She turned up to the cathedral wearing a white dress that was given to her by the nun. After being proud of what she had done, she thought it may be a good time to tell her father, thinking that if she explained it to him he may understand and may even be proud of her. This however wasn't to be the case. In a fit of rage she ended up taking the young girl's life. She passed away and was placed inside a cemetery in Rome, Italy. She became known as the girl who sacrificed herself to her religion. Years later she was exhumed and acquired by a wealthy priest. Shortly after she was taken to a cathedral in Mexico. She has been here ever since, and is preserved in wax and can be seen behind glass. She can still be seen wearing a ceremonial gown. To this day tourists make their way into the cathedral to view the girl. However, over the last few years she has become known for something entirely different. In recent years it's been reported that every so often she will open her eyes. In fact, someone was even able to capture a photograph of her doing this. It's reported the camera operator didn't know what happened. It wasn't until they got home and viewed the footage they realised what they had captured. The footage immediately made the rounds and soon the girl became more popular than ever. Every so often people say they witnessed the girl opening her eyes, before slowly shutting them. One eyewitness said the following: "The first time I visited the cathedral is one I won't forget. I walked over to the girl as her story is known in my area. After looking at her for several minutes I saw her eyes twitching. I couldn't believe it, but I wasn't recording it at the time and no one was around me. I told my friends and family but they didn't believe me. However, since these reports have come out, those close to me now believe what I saw." Some have suggested however the photographs have been edited. Regardless, the cathedral still gets many people visiting in the hopes of seeing the girl open her eyes. So what do you guys make of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Going back a few years ago, a statue of the Virgin Mary in Argentina began to gain attention. However, most people couldn't explain why the statue was acting this way. It was reported the statue started to cry. As if this wasn't strange enough, the family who owned the statue said the Virgin Mary was crying blood. As you can imagine, this immediately attracted interest from numerous visitors since its discovery. One local priest come forward and said the Catholic Church will have to fully investigate the tiny statue before it can officially be declared a genuine miracle, going on to say the following: "The first thing the Church will do is a scientific analysis to see if there is a natural explanation. Only then the possibility of a supernatural phenomenon is considered." After the news broke, some suggested that due to what is happening in the world, the statue is trying to warn us of something. This isn't the first time an alleged statue has cried blood. Over the years, churches have come forward and said that they've witnessed the Virgin Mary statues doing the same thing. However, some of these have been explained as either being hoaxes or people placing red ink inside the statues. Although these events do have their believers, others have said that this was a mechanical achievement. Several statues in the past have appeared to cry for a variety of reasons, later explained either as natural rather than divine occurrences or as fakes. It's been suggested that one of the reasons people do this is for attention or money. One local resident, however, said the following: "I think this is real. I think the Virgin Mary is crying because she's trying to tell us something. I think something big is going to happen soon." One skeptic though said the statue most likely had some kind of pipe running through it, and this allows someone to cause the liquid to seep through the statue. Another way to make these statues cry is by drilling a small hole in the head and pouring water inside. If the statue is made from a type of plaster, scratches are placed near the eyes, and then the water starts to seep through. However, there are those that maintain what is happening is real and that something big is going to happen, suggesting that whenever something like this is observed, something unexplained happens in the world. Almost everyone used to own a Raggedy Ann doll back in its heyday, along with a Raggedy Andy doll to match your set. Some of these dolls can even go for as much as $1,000 US, and it appears that several different companies sold several different variations of these incredibly popular designs. In the case of two paranormal researchers and self-proclaimed demonologists, this Raggedy Ann doll held a very special place for them in a locked display case fitted and reinforced with a strong encasing metal. This is due to the fact their Raggedy Ann doll was recovered in a terrible haunting case of which they investigated many years ago. The doll was named Annabelle, and displayed impossible characteristics that led to its previous owners to suspect that it was cursed. It had the ability to move on its own, tap against objects, write terrifying messages, and even supposedly speak out at random times. The real Annabelle doll was given to a young girl named Donna. She was a student who was training as a nurse at the time. What's interesting about this story is that Annabelle was found in a second-hand store. The doll very quickly though started showing signs of a paranormal nature. It started off with small things such as movements in the night. However, this was brushed aside as the owner said it was wind, or her accidentally moving it. But this was not the case. The doll had a life of its own and it was not afraid to show it. Donna had a close friend named Lou, and it said that he was very nervous around the doll and felt as if it was watching him every time he went near it. Shortly afterwards, the Warrens were called in and they were sure that Annabelle was possessed. They both decided it would be best if they took it back with them. While driving back home, it's reported that Annabelle caused a crash, and the Warrens were sure that whatever was possessing the doll caused this on purpose. Even after getting the doll home, she continued to show signs of possession. She would levitate above Ed's desk, and cause bad chest pains to people who were nearby. The doll is considered to be evil, and is now locked inside a glass case. This doll would later go on to inspire the Annabelle movie franchise, and is often at the centre of strange paranormal investigations. As of today, she is considered one of the most haunted dolls in the world. Going back several years ago, a man from Connecticut tried to sell this carved urn. It seems like a random object to try and sell, but then the man said it comes with something most will not be able to handle. It's said that the urn is actually an African ghoul chest, and it's believed that dark entities live inside. Although this sounds far-fetched, over the years people have claimed that their normal-looking objects are possessed by something they can't see. It's said that inside this urn is a dark demonic energy. These supposed creatures are powerful and of Arabian descent. Given the fact that jinn are often described as being unable to be seen or sensed by our natural senses, and constantly attempting to evade detection of all kind, it's no surprise then that the main focus of the jinn circles around its ability to take any form. It's believed the jinn have the ability to take the form of any animal or person, and that they will often use these tactics to get away from someone pursuing them, or to trick loved ones or an individual into doing something for them. The only way for someone to be certain of whether or not the creature is a jinn is to look into its eyes. According to legends, the jinn's eyes are constantly blazing like a fire, and they can be seen in the eyes of any form they take. Jinns also possess supernatural abilities such as that of possessing an individual to take control of their body, being able to predict the future and being able to perform superhuman feats that are otherwise unexplainable in the physical world, such as speed, flying, vast intelligence, fluency in any language, and a vast amount of unending skills. What's interesting about this urn is that others have come forward and said they've had one in the past. One woman said the following: "While clearing out my attic, I found a large bowl-like object. After taking it in my room and leaving it there, I noticed that strange things started to happen. Objects would move while I was out, and every night I would have nightmares. My dogs even refused to come anywhere near the object while it was in my room. After calling paranormal investigators, they suggested that something was attached to the object, and because I moved it, this had caused the entity to become more active. They took it off my hands, and since then I haven't experienced anything strange." So what do you guys make of this story and the urn? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.